What's up, y'all? Okay. It is very humid, and I don't know what possessed me to think I could record outside today, but here we are. Um, so what I want to do, I don't have a lot of time because I want to do something a little different this week. I am going to, I'm going to watch Red Table Talk. Didn't have any other idea for my blog. I thought about this last week when everybody and their mama was talking about Will and Jada. And here's the thing, one of the reasons why I don't watch Red Table Topics is because Will and Jada have never been goals for me. I posted out. It was weird because it came up in my Facebook memories like a few days ago that I had posted like 2 years ago, that Will and Jada are not relationship goals, and I think some people really didn't understand where I was coming from. But Will and Jada have never. I mean, from the beginning of their relationship, if I recall correctly, now it's been a long time. We're talking about in the, I guess, like 90s when Will and Jada met. Will was married, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And seem like I remember them even mentioning that in some interview. But anyway, with that, like I said, there's just been a lot of red flags with Will and Jada for me throughout the extension of their whole entire marriage. Even though they have been together 25 years, my grandparents were together 50 years, and I didn't see that many red flags. I didn't see any, as a matter of fact. But I didn't see like what's wrong with their kids, what's wrong with like it was just a lot. So anyway, I decided to do a react video. This is my first react video. I have not seen the video that everybody's talking about. I've seen a couple of clips, like the entanglement clip and the what was the other one? That's the only one I can remember at this point, but it seemed like there was another one I saw. But anyway, I'm about to force myself to watch this and maybe discuss it. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to record my initial reaction and see how that goes.
Somebody made a statement for me that wasn't a statement I made.
I know Shed talk about Brother August. He didn't make that statement for you. He made that statement for him. Have y'all seen his video? Let me keep going.
Is the media, the headlines.
No.
We specifically never said anything.
Yes.
We were purposely not saying anything. Any headline that says Jada said or Will said or the Smith said is not true. We specifically never said anything.
Right.
Sometimes what you don't say actually makes a statement.
And to stop that cycle.
Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right.
I like the fact that she mentioned people's feelings are involved because I saw the August Alsina interview. And listen, I don't know anything about August Alsina. I don't know. Like, I think he's a singer, maybe a rapper. I'm not even sure. But I saw definitely the Jada part of his video. But I think I watched the whole thing. I watched a lot of it. And this dude is hurting and broken and healing. Like, at first I thought because of what everybody else was saying that she didn't care about this boy, but her saying people's feelings are involved, maybe she's a little concerned about what's going on with this young man because he's like hurt, like for real.
It's all love. Honestly. And
You still love him?
You just feel like it ain't really nobody's
business.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But now Black Twitter has claimed it as their business.
So here's the thing about it being a public person of any type. Here's the thing about being a human, and this is why I get a little bit agitated with celebrities because they feel like we pry into their business and it isn't fair. But in reality, if you live in this world, somebody somewhere is going to be in your business. And maybe it's because I grew up in a small town. I'm accustomed to people having input on what you wear, what you think, who they saw you with, whose house you was over, what church you go to. It could be anything. Like, in this world, people are watching your witness. And I think this is important for believers to take heed, that people are watching your marriages, your relationships, all types of stuff. You don't get to pick and choose what people see. Sometimes when you're hiding, like, everything is done, even things that are done in the dark is going to come out into the light anyway. So don't just say Black Twitter and try to label consider yourself a victim and you're being attacked. Like, people have an opinion about what you did. A lot of people were looking up to you, and that's with every person in the world. Somebody somewhere is looking up to you, but you're freaking Will and Jada. Like, I understand you have feelings, but it is what it is.
And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state.
Because for me, that was the thing when Og first came around, he was really sick.
He was really sick, yeah.
And the outpouring for him from our family was initially about his health.
Yeah.
So Jada is prefacing everything she's saying by admitting that she knew for a fact that this boy was in a vulnerable state. I don't know how old he is, but when I saw his interview, he sounded like he was going through stuff that I was going through when I was like 17, 18 years old. At the very beginning of my relationship with God, like just trying to figure out life. And before we get into anything else, she's letting you know, I knew this boy was weak and vulnerable and sick and everything. But let's see how this continues.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you...
That was a low blow, Will. Like, you still got a little N on your chest, don't you? I was doing you. Really? We doing it like that? Okay.
You go figure out how to make yourself happy, and I'll figure out how to make myself happy.
Well, at that particular point in time, it was indefinite.
Yeah, I really felt like we could be over. You know?
We were over.
This is so messy because their family collectively is trying to outpour help onto this vulnerable person when they are in a very vulnerable spot. Now, I'm not saying you can't help anybody if you're hurting. It's just an awkward place to be. And as we can see, that didn't turn out well. But maybe you should like when you're helping people, make sure you're giving them help and not just bleeding onto them. Like, just because you're emotionally attached and hugging and kissing on people or giving them money or giving them a place to stay or whatever, like, that in and of itself is not always the help that people need. Sometimes people might need your prayer or advice, or maybe not advice from you too, but just they weren't in a good place to be trying to help somebody if they were like in the situation that they said they were in. And then I wonder, is this the time when they said that they weren't in a marriage anymore? They were in a what do they call it? A partnership, life partnership or something like that. Like, you know, during this time when it started to get sketchy and people had questions, and then they came out and made statements, and some folks thought, oh, y'all tripping about Will and Jada, they still good. But they were actually like making cover-up stories to cover up the really brokenness of their marriage. Could have been.
You giving permission, which is, you know, the only person that can give permission in that particular circumstance is myself.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But what August was probably trying to communicate, because I could actually see how he would perceive it as permission, because we were separated amicably. And I think he also wanted to make it clear that he's not a homewrecker.
Pause, 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 pause. We live in an age where everybody has this me, myself, and I attitude. And here's the thing, that's why marriages fail, because it is not just about you and what you want. Like, your husband should have some input, first of all, on who you sleep with. I feel like that kind of goes without saying, especially if you're still legally married. And the scripture says, right, that when you are married, your body doesn't belong to you alone anymore. It also belongs to your partner. That's the reality of marriage. Of course, they probably did not know that 25 years ago, being celebrities in Hollywood or whatever the case may be, before they got married. But I just want to stop right there because y'all listening to everything these people be saying and not lining it up with the word of God. If you don't believe in God, if you're an atheist, if you don't believe the Bible, fine. But Christians, y'all got to calm down. Believers, whatever you want to call yourself today, y'all got to stop it. Y'all got to stop listening to people giving you their opinion. Um, I don't know. I think Will did have a conversation with August, but for you to say you're the only person that can make decisions about stuff like that is the reason why your marriage is always on the rocks. Let's just.
Yeah, and then I got into an entanglement with August. That's what I said.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship?
Yes, it was a
Yeah.
relationship. Absolutely.
What did you do? What? Suck dick on accident. How?
I just wanted to feel good. It had been so long since I felt good.
This is the clip, the other part that I saw before when she said, I just wanted to feel good. And it just seems like to me, it would be easier to have a conversation with your husband about what he could do to make you feel good if you're not feeling good, whatever that means. I know that I've heard people say that those kind of conversations can be hard to have with men, but I think it would be easier than what you're dealing with now if you would have went ahead and tried to do this within the actual marriage, which was you and your husband.
And it was really a joy to just help heal somebody.
Yeah.
Some people call it a healing spirit. Some people use the word empath. I know that I have the gift of helps. And sometimes when I'm going through things, it is much easier to go and help somebody else. It's so much easier to focus on things outside of myself than what was actually going on with me. So that is true. It's not healthy necessarily, but it's true.
Like, to tell the world about your transgressions.
I actually don't look at it as a transgression at all.
Girl, it was a transgression. Stop. If it wasn't because you were being unfaithful with your husband and breaking the law of God by not staying within your marriage, it was because you were preying on this person who was weak and helpless. It's one thing to help somebody when you're going through. It's another thing to, and I talked about this one time about how sometimes people will do things to try to sponge out their guilt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, your marriage is messed up, that's not working, your kids are losing their mind. I'm talking about you, Jada, and you go, oh, well, I'm gonna help this person, and also it's gonna get real sick because I'm gonna sleep with them. Like, that's very unhealthy. Like, I'm not saying you can't help somebody and be in a relationship with them. I'm not saying that because you're supposed to help your partners. That's the reality. But your partner was Will.
Is a little weird that all this stuff is coming out now, since this was
Yeah, because for me, this was years ago.
When people are going through any type of trauma, I would say abuse or anything like that, stop wondering why they didn't talk about it in the moment. Stop wondering why it took them years to talk about it, because it's hard. Point blank, it's hard.
You know, if you expect to be with somebody for a lifetime,
25 years and counting.
we ride together,
We die together.
Bad marriage for life.
Did these people just quote one of his movie lines? Is that what your marriage is? Y'all stupid. Don't say something because it's catchy and it will make people laugh and think that that's what you should know. No, speak life, not for the sake of conversation, not so you can look good to other people. Don't say bad marriage for life. Don't even let that come out your lips, because listen, we don't have time for that. Like, this is one of those moments where you could have said something of substance and you quoted a movie line and spoke death over your marriage from here until the end of your life. Really? Don't do that. That was dumb.